What's up, YouTube? So I don't know if anyone's seen Ford Boss Me's video. What's up? You know who it is, Meineke Sentiments, and you need your car fixed. And Sentiments in Pensacola, Delran, Camden, Collinswood, Mount Ephraim. Come see Meineke Sentiments. And I feel for this dude because he comes from basically the dealership environment where people who can't afford, I'm going to say straight up, can't afford to go to the dealership for repairs and maintenance because they know even if they have a little bit of a problem with their car, it's $150 to $200 just to look at your car. Just to look at your car. So that shield, right, that shield of them saying, hey, I don't care what you're here for, if we fix it or not, you owe us $220 or $150 just for our mechanics spending time on the customer request, right? The customer request is, hey, my tire light's on. Hey, I got a rattle. Hey, I have a squeak. And their car is obviously out of warranty. And I don't know how that works if your vehicle still has a warranty on it. Because I think they still try and rope you in. Anthony's Tesla has a warranty on it. And guess what I wound up paying? A shop fee to the visit. For them to tell me that there's a third-party app causing a problem that their Wi-Fi diagnostic couldn't pick up. So there you go, Tesla. You ain't diagnosing a car 100% over the phone or over the air. So back to Ford Boss Me. And you could tell this dude, the stress is getting to him, right? The Ford Boss Me that you used to watch when he was in the Ford dealership environment, he had his stress and his issues. This is 10 times the opposite spectrum, dealing with non-warranty, non-dealership, non-cover repairs. And I could be wrong, but I'm telling you, I see it in his face. And he doesn't want to deal with this shit. It's the people who are putting it on him. You know, so if you saw it, customer was all over him. The customer knows more. You know, we all hear the story. The customer knows more than you do about the car, right? They may know more about certain feels of the car, right? Because you don't spend every waking moment in that specific vehicle all the time, especially if you're not manufacturer specific, meaning you work for Ford, you deal with Fords all day long, then he's dealing with a Honda or Toyota or whatever. So he says, oh yeah, I just need a starter, I got my own starter. I love that. You know what I say? Not putting your part in your car. Period. I don't care. We're not working on your car. Either you put my parts in so I can stand behind them or tow your car someplace else and deal with that. So now what the customer's doing is somebody diagnosed it or they diagnosed it, right? Which sometimes is the worst thing that could ever happen. And now they're eliminating paying diagnostic fees and shop time and just saying, let's just get down to the nitty gritty and put this part in it and see if they were right. And if they were right, they feel all strong and muscular, and then they're going to do the same shit again. So they put the starter in, and you know, why would they go diagnose it past anything? The battery's dead, the car doesn't start. You know, dead battery and starter go hand in hand. Weak battery voltage, dead battery, trying to crank your car all the time, just destroys the armature windings in the starter and the brushes, and overloads the cables and everything else. So, and I've had people come in too. It's like, listen, I'm not going any further until you put a battery in this thing. Well, how much is your battery? And you tell them how much. Well, I'll bring my own battery. Oh, well, bring your own battery. Like, I need to keep moving here. Bring your part. You don't want to buy my part? Let's go. Put your part in to save $50. Excuse me. Or whatever it is, because we're still charging you labor to take it out and put it in. So then he gets into the starter, puts the starter in. They don't even put a battery in. They're using a jump box. Put the starter in, click, click. Turns out the motor's seized. What's he do? Call the customer, because this is what you do. Hey, Mr. Shop, put my part in. They agree to it. They drop their pants immediately. Right then there. You drop your pants immediately. Puts the starter in. Wastes all that time out. Probably outside. Who wants to work outside, right? Nobody. The guy's pissed now. He's irate. Blah, 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 blah. You know, Boss Me says, dude, you need a motor. I don't need a motor. The whole story. You don't want to deal with these people. In most cases, you do not want to deal with these type of people. Guaranteed he don't take his fucking eggs to the diner and ask them to cook it. Or take his fucking chicken wings to someplace or seafood and say, oh, can you cook this for me? They don't do that. They only fucking torture. They're like bees, right? And as soon as they get a taste of someone being nice and generous and wants to help them, right? Bzzzt. And now you're their guy, because now they're going to sting your ass. So to make the long story short, he posted a video yesterday that his staff was at the shop on non-business hours against his wishes because his partner okayed it. Well, you got to have some continuity there. I let my guys be at the shop after hours. And I've been at the shop where I've closed and customers come in like, well, you're open. No, motherfucker, we're not open. We're closed for the day. We've been closed for 5 hours. Why are you coming here at 9 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock at night? Or my hours say 12 on Saturday and you're knocking on the door bothering me. We're closed. I don't want to talk to you about your car. I don't care about your car right now. It is not work time. So I believe it was a Sunday. His gates were open. The shop was open. But it was only his technicians there. Well, they're not management. They're not supervisors. This guy comes, wreaks all kinds of fucking havoc there. They call Ford Boss Me. He's distraught. He can't go back or doesn't want to go back and deal with this guy, and I don't blame him. Well, obviously the guy calls the cops, or they call the cops. The cops show up and are like, yeah, dude, you're obviously open because your doors are open and your gate's open and your employees are here. The fucking police department don't dictate your business operations. Zero. None. Not at all. They can't tell you when you open or close. Cannot. So Ford Boss Me should have stood them up and said right there, hours of operation are posted, regardless of who's here. These guys could be painting the fucking walls. They're not open for business. So the cops, excuse me, use their leverage on them. I'm sure Boss Me stressed and not thinking right. And then they're like, well, we're letting him take his car because that's his private property. Wrong, dude. You're telling me if your car is impounded, right? The customer can call the fucking police department and go to the impound yard, right? And force the impound yard to release those vehicles without being paid. No fucking way. They don't have that authority. Zero. So the customer is basically theft of services at this point. He knows that there's a bill for this vehicle. There should have been storage charge. And the cops let him take his vehicle. And Boss Me had his people push it out. He should have said, sorry, Mr. Cops. I'll see this motherfucker in court because this shit ain't going anywhere. And you guys are on private property. And we have a service bill that needs to be paid here. So either you pay it or he pays it and this car doesn't move. So the police department didn't want to deal with this jerk off either because they knew how it was going to go. They were either going to wind up shooting him or arresting him, and they really didn't want to do that to that guy today. Not Ford Boss Me, the guy. Your vehicle is now on private property. The police have no jurisdiction on private property unless they are invited there by you. Regardless, they would have to conduct an investigation past the customer saying, well, my car is there. Well, you abandoned your car there. So, and the cops can't force the shop owner to release the vehicle when there's fees due. Cannot. I've had the cops come to my shop. I've left motherfuckers' cars on the lift as high as I can, right? And ask the customer to wait on the street because now I don't want them here and you're trespassing. But that's my car. You authorized services and then you stopped us after services were performed. This fucking car is not going nowhere until the police show up. And the police every time make those jerk-offs pay their bill before that car leaves. Every time. 18 years of in business in Cinnaminson has been my worst experience with people. And every time the cops have come, that customer has had to pay their bill. They cry, they kick the counter. Doesn't matter, dude. You authorize the service verbally over the phone or signed. Doesn't matter. Well, if I got a signed work order. That shit doesn't matter. There's verbal authorizations that go on constantly all day long. That motherfucker wasn't there for no reason. So the police can't tell you to give back something that they cut. Like, you're going to go someplace, right? They built you a custom shed. You left a deposit for it and you signed for it. Or even if you didn't leave, you signed for the custom shed to be built. And then you're going to show the fuck up with the police and say, well, that's his personal property because he has an agreement that says it's his. No, motherfucker, that's not how that works. That's a straight court case for the police department too. But once the police department get you willingly to do something, it's water under the bridge. You'd have to get an attorney to fight that out and basically say they forced you to do it. Stand your ground. I call it weeding through the losers, and that's what I do. Weed through the losers because they're out there, and they're just out there looking to screw you over every chance they get. I've heard people say, well, you didn't fix it, so what do I got to pay? Here's the laundry list of things I wanted to fix, and you just did one. So what do you expect? Here's what your car needs, and then you want to tell me I didn't fix it. You have 14, 20, 30 trouble codes. You want to pick one? Nope, been down that road too. So I feel you, brother. Be more involved. As soon as you hear people start saying, can you put my parts on? It's a fucking red flag. 100% red flag. And it's not everybody's a fucking scumbag. But the majority of the people out there are looking to cause you major headaches, right? One, they've probably already tried to do the job and figured they can't. Or their mechanic said to do it and they can't. He wasn't sure. I get that all the time. Oh, my mechanic said. He's so fucking far from what's wrong with the car, he shouldn't even be in business. So, yeah, if you hear, can you put my parts on? You're asking for a headache. And it could go smooth. But that is what it is. And if 99% of what your customers are coming in and say, put my parts on, it's time to pack up shop and move to a different location. That would be my opinion. That's it. You're not the install my parts shop guy. Focus your energy someplace else. And just like the interview process at the counter, I try and teach Rachel all the fucking scumbag shit that I've learned. Not me being a scumbag, the people being scumbags, to how to avoid it, how to get around it, and how to get away from it. And how to stay far away from it. Can you put an oil pump in my car? I have my own oil pump, and why do you need an oil pump? Blah, 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 blah. If you need an oil pump, you need an engine. I don't care what anyone else says out here. In most cases, if you need an oil pump, you need an engine. And there's some areas that warrant an oil pump, but I don't see that many oil pump failures to tell you that you need an oil pump. It's not likely. If you have low oil pressure, your fucking problems are way bigger than that. Unless it's a sensor or a clogged screen or clogged choy in the screen or in an oil pump. But that's all lack of fucking maintenance. So what condition's your engine really in if your shit's clogged? Fucking junk stuff. You're not taking care of it. So the parts thing that, put my parts on, that's the biggest red flag in our industry. And then reading people's body language and mojo and all that shit and vehicle conditions. Door handles busted. Hoods that don't latch. Every warning light on. Take it for a road test. The whole car's a fucking basket case and they want an oil change and tire rotation. Put the brakes on, dude. Call them up. Say, do you realize your car's falling apart at your feet? Yeah, I know. I just need an oil change. Button that piece of shit up and get it out of your shop. You don't want that type of customer. I want customers who want to repair and maintain their car. That's what I signed up for. I didn't sign up for police, verbal abuse, threats of violence, harassment. I signed up to fix your fucking car and get paid for it. Not all the other things that above and beyond. I don't care who worked on your car last. You're at that shop. It's their way to fix the car. You don't tell them how to fix your car. Collectively, if you're doing something custom or fabrication, yes, your input is welcome, but doesn't mean it's always going to happen. That's it is. Ford boss me, my brain power, my mental capacity, my heart goes out to you, but you need to start protecting yourself and educating yourself with all the warning signs. And the warning signs are, for you, the biggest thing is, and for me, as soon as I hear I have my own parts, we don't dig. And it's specific parts. If people have an exhaust system, I warn them. Half the time that shit doesn't fit, and it's going to be more than whatever this is. If you're prepared for that, no problem. I will make it work, and it will be done because I am an expert and I can make things that don't fit. But I warn them up front. You have a catalytic converter, chances are that ain't going to work whatsoever aftermarket, unless you know the product and specific properties of that converter and how it's worked for you. But exhaust parts, very rarely do anything aftermarket. Very rarely do I get a direct fit OEM system to fit a brand new fucking car that actually fits today. So that's my experience. And I see tons of other shops putting on direct fit universal exhaust that fits like shit. The customer don't know any better. It's not loud. It's rattling. It's vibrating. It's too low. It's twisted. So I even turn people that have their own fucking tires. I have my own tires. Can you put them on? No, I don't want to be bothered with your bullshit. I don't. I'm here to make money. That little bit of profit we make on the tires plus the labor is the difference between us paying the guy or just paying the bill to run the machines to put your tire on. You follow me? So, I say no to a lot of people who come in with parts. I don't want to be bothered with that shit. It's a red fucking flag for me. Thanks for watching.